Today, Third Wave has been to Cologne, where an international festival brings together people specialising in drama for and about the Third Wave. And we'll be using our film report as a springboard for a studio discussion afterwards. And I think that even if you're not very interested in theatre, you'll find this fascinating. It is about the extraordinary in ordinary life. And in a sense, the older people are, the more they can contribute, for it is all about memories. There's less showing off in this kind of theatre and more of people showing who they are.
So it's their responsibility to go to their limit. And they don't have to stretch as high or bend as low as I do or as the person next to them does. Well, for movement-wise, nobody thinks they can move. They're supposed to sit in their chairs and not move. And if they can move, they do what they learned when they were little, waltz and, you know, box step and two-step and this sort of thing. And then they sit, and their bodies, their muscles shrink and their bones get tight and their breath gets bad. And there's such great beauty in what they can do. The movement that they do is beautiful. And I think everyone should do it. And older people, along with their movement, comes a certain kind of grace. Even though it might look awkward, there's a certain kind of grace or wisdom from all those years that comes out. And plus, I mean, when you see a group of old people move across the stage dancing in ways that you don't see, it's an incredible sight. And incredible things happen. I've had people absolutely break down and cry because they've released something, and they start discovering their own movements. They recycle it. You give energy out to them. You give them an idea, and you say, "Give me more," and they give you more. And that's why it's satisfying.
I was needed at the company, in the community, at home, to build and haul, to sit on committees, to make decisions, to help people out. Sometimes I'd get frustrated and say, does the whole world have to depend on me? Now I wish somebody would.
I don't like older professional actors. And the reason I don't like them is because they have already developed their own stage technique, and they are stagey. They have their own stage presence. They already have their personality. They like to perform. They're concerned about how they come across. And for an ensemble such as this one, we're concerned on how the message comes across. And I've had some really good actors who've come into this group, and it was very difficult to get them to meld with the group, because they were terribly concerned all the time about how they come across. It's sort of like a stage actor who does a television interview. You know, they're totally concerned. How do I look? How am I coming across? They're concerned with themselves.
The air in the house is cold and hard, where it used to be warm and soft, with her talking, saying nothing, asking silly questions. Is that you? She'd ask. And I'd say, no, it's Santa Claus. Or the man in the moon. But I felt like me then.
They absolutely love it. Now, I've worked here before. I mean, I worked in Germany for an advertising agency years ago. So for me, it's a homecoming here. But for many of the group, it's the first time they've ever been in Europe. We have one actress in the group. She's 80. She has a health problem that's pretty severe. She didn't dare tell her family that she was coming with us until 2 days before we left, because she was afraid they would try and stop her. I mean, you know, that kind of enthusiasm is catching.
It takes 3 bucks to hold my family tree. I don't get around quite as quick as I did. But deep down inside, I still feel like a kid. When all you can see is the outside part, you may not know what's to look at.
The first time one of my actors died, I was devastated. This is the most difficult problem anybody who does what I do have to learn to live with. I guess what we do to make it better is we always put their names and their biographies in our programs for the rest of our career. So those names always live as far as when we perform. So we're doing something. The people we've had with us, there's about 6 of them who died since we started, and their names always appear in our program with a little description of them. So when we perform, they're still with us. They've gone up to the great theatre in the sky.
I think young people have an attitude that they're very sort of indifferent because they don't understand, because they only live in the future and what's happening now. And I think from talking to old people and finding out that they have, you know, dirty jokes, and I mean, we were saying in the pub that the thing that old people liked is the raucous songs and the dirty jokes, because that's what they remember as well. And I think we think that old people are all a bit straight-laced.
Oh, a quarter bottle of scotch!
And the wonderful thing about the way this has been run is that you meet them in the workshops, they come and see your performance, you go and see their performance. But also there are lots of informal times, you know, you maybe go and have a meal together, or you have a drink in one of the bars. We were in a wine bar the other night, and I don't know what I should say this, we were there till 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was conversations going on, and they were just as good as the workshops because you find out more about the people.
I like the parade, looking at the parade. I like that too.
I was asking myself why we have done that.
My own experience is certainly that for older people it is certainly very refreshing to have younger actors and actresses with all the sort of charm and liveliness that people of that age group possess. I've often noticed in the old people's homes that, say, the lead actress may be in her early 20s and be very charmingly dressed in the fashion of the 30s, and one can visibly see the old people lighting up and seeing their own youth again in some form, and they say, yes, I used to have a hat like that, and I used to be as pretty as that, and it cheers them up. And I think that has been a reason also why the shows have been very successful.
The boys are young, and that's
As far as the actual festival goes, the opening night was fairly amazing. It went on a long time because every group performing here did a small excerpt from their show. And one of the funniest things for me, and one of the things that sticks in my mind so far this week, was at the end, there was a group of German older people, and they did this sketch where they had walking sticks and their clothes buttoned up, and some of them were taking pills, and they looked very frail and shaky, and they wobbled around, and then suddenly the music started, and they threw away the sticks, took off their overcoats, and started dancing. And I asked someone about this, it made me laugh very much, and evidently this group did this for real somewhere. They were introduced as being this particular group, and they came on very frail, being helped, and everybody was thinking, oh, they felt sorry for them, but they were probably thinking, I have to sit here and watch this for an hour? And then suddenly the music played, they threw everything away and was dancing around. So the joke was on the audience.
It might be true that there's more to life than theatre, but today's film surely suggests there's more to theatre than entertainment. And my guest today puts this belief into professional practice because, Wendy Costolino, you are a drama therapist.
Yes, that's right.
Now, then, do you think that drama is always a therapy in one way?
Yes, I would agree with that statement. I mean, there's very many aspects of drama in general. I mean, there's a therapy of the performing of drama because, in a way, you're giving to the audience you're reenacting, even though it's a character, in a way you're very much acting another side of yourself. And I actually have heard statements that people quite enjoy playing other sides, say evil characters, because they can't express that in real life. So they can express, say, a sense of power, or, you know, it's good fun, sort of releasing your feelings, playing a witch or something like that. Drama, as a therapy, can help people who perhaps would like to find out more about themselves, develop a greater sense of self-esteem, identity, if they lack confidence. The good thing about drama is it really, I always think it's a people's art. It can really help you understand people in general and people in society.
Let's take a case, a person who's lost a partner in bereavement. Would that person find a benefit in being able to expel some of that sort of grief in drama?
Yes, very much so. Drama therapy usually happens within a group setting. The idea is that people can use a group to sort of, if they express sadness and grief and things like that, they often get support from the group. Especially with the elderly, they can be very supportive with each other, and often a person can identify and say, yes, I have felt that way too.
You might be coming across older people who've never done drama in their lives and are too shy about it, and how would you get over that then?
You don't actually have to do the drama, they don't actually have to act to actually receive the therapeutic benefits. Another example of that is, I know of a lady who wrote this poem. She never spoke, but it was all about how people see her from the outside as being an old, crabby woman, and she doesn't speak and things like that. But she was explaining inside that she was like, there was part of her that was a 10-year-old, part of her as a 20-year-old. She was reminiscing about all these feelings, and she really wanted people to know the whole of her, not just she is an old person.
This reminiscing, you've used the word,
yes,
is now quite a kind of positive way of using older people to reveal themselves in a sense.
Yes, the part of reminiscence is the reflection process, where people are encouraged to sort of look back on their life and develop more meaning from their life. Why did this happen? How did this happen? And by sharing and listening, that also can improve a person's identity and self-esteem. But I think elderly people want people to appreciate the youth in them, and also the sense of age in youth. There's an awful lot of youth in there, which really perhaps is what therapy can do. It's actually bring out the youth in them. There's another example of role-playing that a lady did, is that she always wanted to act a 14-year-old, and she wouldn't act anything else, and that was her one way of expressing her youth.
Thank you for talking to me.
Right, thank you.